Welcome to the official opening of Trafalgar House.
Just Imagine, a podcast series by Imagine Theatre.
Yes, hello again and welcome to episode 106 of Imagine Theatre's podcast series. And this time we're back at Imagine's brand new headquarters in Coventry for the official opening of Trafalgar House.
For more information, go to their website at www.imaginetheatre.co.uk.
In the last episode, I was joined by a comedian and actor who's done everything from hosting game shows to sell-out tours, won I'm a Celebrity and went dancing on ice, the panto legend Joe Pasquale. If you missed it, you can still check it out along with all of the other previous episodes, and don't forget to subscribe to the series so that you don't miss any future episodes. So far in the series, we've spoken to stars of the pantomime stage, various creative team members, and many, many more. We've looked at specific panto titles, explored all of the elements that make a panto work, and we celebrated panto successes at 3 consecutive UK Pantomime Awards ceremonies. But this time, we are returning to the new Imagine headquarters for the official opening of Trafalgar House, which is now fully functional, and to see how everybody is settling in and how preparations are going for the next pantomime season. But before we go inside and take a look around, let's hear the opening speeches and the cutting of the ribbon.
Imagine Theatre grew out of Coventry in its first incarnation as Telltale Productions, and we're delighted that Ian Loughlin is here carrying on that legacy with us. And of course the Belgrade Theatre, we're also delighted that they're here joining us today. And we're proud to continue to provide jobs and creative opportunity here. Now Coventry has had a long association with family pantomime, back as far as the 1940s with the Coventry Theatre. They owned and created large pantomimes that toured across the UK. And Imagine Theatre are proud to continue that legacy today. The West Midlands cultural sector provides over 24,000 employment opportunities for full-time and for freelance staff. And it also provides an economic footprint benefit of over 1.1 billion for this region. And we're proud to be a small part of that.
I've been given the honour of thanking an awful lot of people because this wasn't a 5-minute journey to get somewhere like this. It's taken an awful lot of work by an awful lot of people. So if you have been any form of part of that, then these thank yous are for you. First of all, our head office team. They are the most amazing group of people who've worked tirelessly to prep today. So each and every one of you, thank you. Trafalgar, thank you for believing in us. Thank you for having us as part of your family and to saying yes for this amazing building. It is utterly transformational for us. For those of you who came to our old home, you will know the difference that this space will make when you see it. So thank you. To our colleagues across the wider Trafalgar Entertainment family, thank you for welcoming us with such open arms. It's a big thing to take a small family business and to put it into a bigger business, but you have made us so welcome and we thank each and every one of you. But we would now like to ask Rosemary Squire, CEO and founder of Trafalgar Entertainment, and Helen Enright, Chief Operating Officer of Trafalgar, to cut the ribbon, cut the cake and officially open this very, very special building. Thank you.
Steve and Sarah, and I think we should raise a little glass to them because we wouldn't be here today without Steve and Sarah and all their work. So, congratulations!
Yeah.
Trafalgar House, how wonderful that is, and this means a huge deal to Trafalgar Entertainment as a whole, because not only is it going to be the heart of our pantomime business, but it's also going to be for the whole group the opportunity to bring everything together, to store all our sets and costumes in one place, right in the heart of the UK. So it's a big day for all of us, and congratulations to everybody who's worked on it. And before we wield those diminutive scissors, you've probably seen they have a few props around this place. I'm just going to pass over to Helen, who's got a few words to say.
Thank you, Rosemary, and good to see you all, and thank you very much, Steve and Sarah and the whole of the Imagine team for putting on this event today. It's lovely to get everybody together and to officially open the new offices. I think it must feel a bit, I imagine, like moving out of a 1-bedroom flat though into like a 10-bedroom mansion or something. I haven't quite seen it all yet, but I had a bit of a sneak preview going around the office, and there's a lot of it.
3, 2, 1.
Now that the ribbon has been cut and Trafalgar House is officially open, let's go inside and have a look around, because I'm lucky enough to be on the very first guided tour of the new building, and our tour guides are none other than joint CEOs of Imagine Theatre, Sarah and Steve Bowden.
So our wardrobe team, as Sarah said, is 7 strong, and then as we get towards Christmas, we get a lot of freelancers now who come in. They never had enough space at the old place to work in, so now we've got enough desks, machines and space so that we can expand and contract as we go. The door in the corner takes you to the store. We'll go through there from the other side in a little while, but that just literally takes me straight to their wardrobe store, which we created. Come on through, folks. This then...
I recognise a bit of scenery there.
And as we make our way around, we've been shown the expansive office space, wardrobe, the workshops, wigs, props and set stores, meeting rooms and breakout areas. And we've been given an idea of how these areas will be used and how much of a difference they're going to make in terms of the efficiency of the company and as a working environment for all of the staff who are based here.
Come on through, folks.
And we're building an island in the middle as well, so there will be an island, so there'll be extra workspaces. So literally when we get that shout of all hands to the pump to paint shoes, we're all out here, because that's what it takes at Christmas. We'll all just be out here in lines along the workshops painting the shoes to get them dry and get them out.
You used to do glitter badges, didn't you, Esther? If you've done enough painting of shoes or work on props, get yourself a glitter badge. So, this is the wardrobe department that we created out of what is basically just like a plastic tarpaulin, but it's properly designed to do the subdivisions which big warehouses use to subdivide spaces. But it was perfect for this because it meant we could just get a dry, airtight, clean environment for all the wardrobe, of which there was a lot. And this is, Sarah, is this about twice the... Yeah, 25,000 costumes, twice the size of what space that we had. Meticulously sorted by our brilliant wardrobe team.
And if you look up here above you, you'll see that we have a mezzanine full of wardrobe trundles. And in Brandon House, as Carol will vouch, we just didn't have space to get them out. And we were fighting the space. But suddenly you can pack costumes here that we couldn't do before. No. Where you see spaces, each space is designated a specific reason during the season to pack or to build or to make. And this is the wardrobe area and along that corridor there. This will be filled. Come November, this will just be filled with trundles and then filled with costumes.
So this is our front office provision. So Sarah and I are in here, and then we have our casting and administrative team. They're based out here as well, plus Trafalgar hot desks as well, so any of the Trafalgar team can come and hot desk from here. So we've got our casting, our contracts, our children's licensing team, Louise who heads up casting, our marketing team, Katie and Emma, there's Emma, and then Eric and Laura when they come and work down here, hot desk here as well. So it's just a really good space, and this is about 3 times the size of what we had.
Well, we know over 20 or 30 years, Steve, you've done pretty much everything in terms of this company, directing, chief executive, but today, for the very first time, you were a tour guide.
I was. I've never done that before, and I'm going to get a badge and add it to my CV. Do you know what? It was just huge. It's quite emotional showing people around and seeing the scale and the volume of the business now. A huge sense of pride, you know, showing the chief executive and the chief operating officer around from Trafalgar, and Helen and Rosie were just blown away by the organisation, B, the scale of it all. And you do kind of take a breath and go, goodness, that's something that we've created and amassed over 20 odd years.
I think the most surprising thing for me is not just the scale of the place and what you're able to do here, but the amount of things you've done, the turnaround in such a short period of time.
That's right. I mean, I remember talking to you earlier on in the year when we were literally doing the move in here. And when I think we got the keys just at Christmas Eve, we're less than 6 months from that point now. Yeah. And here we are, the entire business is moved in, it's settled, the offices are all equipped, and we're ready to start the season. It's a huge undertaking to move a business for anybody who's ever moved it, but when you look at the kind of scale of Panto and the scale of what it is that we've achieved, it's really amazing.
And the other amazing thing is, already there are Trafalgar people working from hot desks in the office.
And that's exactly the point. Trafalgar didn't have a Midlands base. And as we know, the Midlands provides has a huge opportunity for artistic creation and talent. You know, there's a massive number of people in the West Midlands alone. You know, I mentioned it in my chat, you know, 1.1 billion pounds worth of turnover of arts in the West Midlands. So it's a huge part. And to be able to have a base where creatives and Trafalgar staff from all parts of the business can come and work, it's really good for them, it's really good for us, because we get to meet other parts of the group and we get to kind of all interact as all good groups should.
I think it's fair to say as well, finally, Trafalgar, obviously you're part of the same family now, but without that, this could never have happened, really, could it?
No, it needed an economy of scale, and the scale that Trafalgar was able to bring meant that the move from Imagine's old premises to here, combining that with the expansion plans that Trafalgar have and all the storage that, they've got sets and costumes in stores all around the country, the opportunity to bring that all under one roof will pay dividends, and this is the result of that group combined thinking. And sometimes you need, by together you're stronger, and that was very much the case with Imagine and Trafalgar.
You had some cake yet?
I've been handed cake twice, and I've yet to get it anywhere near my mouth.
The catering, hands down, has been incredible. The food on the buffet table here, the cake, but the ice cream van was an extra level.
That was part of the deal, really. We said, if we're going to move somewhere, we have to have a place where ice cream is available. And we got here, and within a couple of days of being here, the ice cream man came across, because he goes to the school over the road at the end of the day. And he saw us all kind of standing outside doing various bits and pieces, and we were moving the stuff in, and somebody said, can we have an ice cream? And he comes every week, and he's great. So yeah, to have an ice cream van available for the day, perfect.
Thanks, Steve, and congratulations.
Thank you, Martin.
Well, one man who's been here since the very, very beginning, from the time before Imagine Theatre. I'm not trying to say you're old, Ian, but Ian Lachlan, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yes, and I'm holding together.
So, this is your first real look at Trafalgar House. What do you make of it?
Oh, I'm absolutely amazed. I'm impressed because not only does it give so much room for everything, which they so needed, it gives them room to work, They've got workspaces as well, and very impressive, especially with the wardrobe and everything, because the girls they're just working with nothing, There's so many costumes and no space, but they've got everything there, which is great. It's lovely. I'm really impressed.
So from those early days at the Belgrade, could you ever imagine that the company would get to this size?
No. I mean, our first store was a barn in a village in Oxfordshire. It was just, we had about 3 or 4 sets in there. It's just that I was coming out from the Belgrade Theatre, after a show had been finished, the end of the run, and walking past 9 skips full of the set. And I thought, this is such a waste of money, it's terrible. And so we decided to... at some point, I can't remember when it was, to be honest with you, but to try and just get hold of this, to take the sets and really recycle them, So I had a few sets packed into this barn, which is a little bit leaky, and that's how we started it. Yeah, a long time ago.
I bet you recognised a few sets and costumes wandering around today.
Oh, I remember wearing that. Yes, I did. I recognised a few, which is lovely. Which is great to see that they're being used over again.
And it's also great to see that relationship with the Belgrade continues today, and there are Belgrade management staff here as well. So that's a partnership that will continue.
It will, yeah. I think it's so important, really. It's a big job for a theatre to do it on their own. And to have a partner like Imagine, who have got such a lot of experience now, and it makes things a bit easier, really, for the theatre.
Well, listen, thanks for talking to us. You can finish your cake now.
Oh, thank you, yes.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Well, we've spoken on the podcast series before to these 2 women from Trafalgar, Rosemary Squire, the only dame in the building, I must say, and Helen Enright. Dame Rosemary, first of all, what do you make of the new building?
Oh, I think it's fantastic, and I think there's loads of dames in here apart from me.
Not real ones.
Oh, I don't know, the costumes are incredible. Just looking around, the scale of it, the order, I think the team have done a brilliant job. All those pairs of shoes and all those wigs, it's just brilliant. I love it.
Helen, what was your first impression?
The scale of it is incredible. It's really now fit for purpose. We've got a proper wardrobe and wigs department, which is amazing. I think that's where we'll see, and the storage is just incredible. So I think it will be really good. It will stand us in good stead in years to come for sure.
And obviously this is part of Trafalgar. Trafalgar made this happen, really. How will this fit into the general structure for not just Imagine but for Trafalgar Entertainment?
Well, having had my first look round, there's a big piece of the storage unit that isn't being used yet, and that's being earmarked for all of our other sets and costumes. series of lots of other productions from Trafalgar Theatre Productions, Jonathan Church Theatre Productions, and I think there's pushing 20 productions to come in. I think I was told something like 24 trailers.
Wow.
So yeah, they'll all be here in a few weeks.
And that gives you an idea of the actual scale of the building, which it's difficult to actually describe without seeing it yourself. But there'll also be an opportunity for Trafalgar people to come and work here, hot desk, there's spaces here to come and do other things.
Completely, and that's the plan, that this will become a sort of Midlands hub for Trafalgar Entertainment. So we've got additional space to sort of grow into, and as we expand Trafalgar, then this is a great location for us to be able to have other people here, as well as just offices in London. It's great to have offices elsewhere in the country as well.
Yeah, and it's also great for people around Trafalgar to actually meet each other. So people from Jonathan Church come here maybe and interact with people from Imagine and so on. As we said on the previous podcast, Rosemary, the fit for Imagine and Trafalgar is perfect, isn't it?
Well, absolutely, because we're a group now, we have 21 theatres. The vast majority are in the regions, and each and every one of them has family entertainment pantomime at Christmas. And so we've got a few contracts that are winding down, but over time, Imagine will be producing the pantomimes for all of our venues. So yes, it's a win-win. There's real synergy there.
And also with the canon of stuff that you do, of course, with Stagecoach, for instance, that links into the junior ensemble and so on, and the fact that Panto is for a family audience and maybe the first experience that children have. So it's a perfect fit in so many ways, isn't it?
It absolutely is, and we do lots of summer youth projects around the group. Well, in fact, most of our venues all do summer productions with young people, and of course this is the ideal place to store and to source all those sets and costumes. We've got something like almost 30,000 costumes here. So it is a great resource for the whole of the group and everything that we do.
Well, it's been a lovely day, hasn't it? Rosemary and Helen, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you, it's been lovely.
Thank you very much, Martin.
Well, while the party continues, there are so many people here working from both Trafalgar and Imagine. Artistic Director at Imagine is Eric Potts. How are you, first of all?
I'm very well, Martin. Nice to see you again.
So, lots of people are going out of the building having been wowed by the scale of it and what it's capable of, which the old building wasn't. You've seen this from the very beginning, haven't you?
Yeah, and I think wow is a good word. It's how we feel within Imagine as well. It really is such a difference from Brandon House, which in itself was a great space, but we just simply outgrew it. And the amount of space we have here, both in the admin side of things, and more so, I think, for the operations team and the warehouse and the wardrobe, they just were running out of any sort of space in the previous headquarters. So what they have here is absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure, I know already that they feel the difference.
Well, not everybody who works for Imagine is actually based in the office most of the time. You're one of those, along with people like Laura Taylor, for instance. But when you come here, you have space to work now, whereas before, that might have been more difficult.
Yes, to be honest, we used to come down. I come down normally about 4 or 5 days per month, but I work normally from my home office. And when we came down before, it was always a case of, well, who isn't in today that I can use their desk, or can I perch on the end of this, or can I just go in the table in Sarah's office? It was getting really sort of beyond manageable. So to know that there are, I think we've got 7 hot desks in the main admin space here, one of which has sort of become mine, but it's still there. It's still on the system if other people want to book it, but I'm not here. It's just great, and everything that we need is here. All the tech is here, the space that we need, access to the printers and everything. So it's literally just a case of plugging in to the docks, and we can do everything here that we can do in our home offices.
Don't underestimate either just how amazing it is for people, the creative team members, for instance, or even producers who are coming to look at possibly hiring set and costumes. You can come in, take a look at the box models and maybe have a meeting, then go through and have a look at the sets and the costumes, and you can literally have a look at them, whereas before you couldn't get near many of them, could you?
Well, exactly. Before it was kind of, it's over there somewhere. You couldn't see the purple stuff, that's it. Whereas here, it really is accessible. We can get to the costumes. As you say, we can do a bit of preparation and have the model box set up. We have the meeting rooms that we need. We have the huge screens in our main meeting room. We can show pictures of the set in action, show how the light box portals work, all that sort of stuff that we just couldn't fully achieve in the previous venue. And it's all about making first impressions. We've got so many people that we work with so long, we really love collaborating with and looking forward to continue, but it's about new business, creating those new contacts and making that impression on them and making that mark and allowing them to leave the building and go, you know what, this is actually a company that is going places. They've thought it through. They've got the space to do what we need them to do. Let's start that collaboration.
Yeah, and just from a final point of view, sitting here, it's airy. You know, the headroom is a reasonable height, temperature's good, but lots of natural light as well, which is fabulous for the working environment, isn't it?
Oh, it really is. We're in the front part of the building, which I think sort of originally sort of Art Deco-y 2030s feel. But the windows are in great condition, thankfully. It's not cold. We've got the aircon on today. We've got plenty of light. It's nice and bright. It's a really good, comfortable working environment that you just feel happy to be in.
Yeah. Are you writing a script at the moment by any chance?
Yeah, I was working on Jack and the Beanstalk for High Wycombe, but I might go back through and force down another sausage roll now for purely medicinal reasons, Martin.
Of course. Maybe some cake as well.
Maybe.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you. Lovely to see you.
Well, we've just seen one of the dames from the Belgrade Theatre. Another dame / ugly sister / baddie is also here. Andy Hockley, how are you?
Two come along at once. I'm very well, thanks, Martin. Lovely to see you.
What have you made of this today? Because obviously your sort of relationship with both the Belgrade and Imagine goes back a long way, doesn't it? So
yeah,
this is eye-opening, isn't it?
Well, I never saw... I'd seen the previous premises from the outside, but I'd never set foot in there. So this is the first time I've penetrated the inner sanctum of Imagine Theatre. It's hugely impressive, just gobsmackingly so. And for me, it's just lovely to see Steve and Sarah's dedication and hard work rewarded with the most fantastic base. And obviously, they'll say themselves, they wouldn't have been able to do it without their association with Trafalgar, but you know, it's going to reap so many benefits for Trafalgar as well. As Rosemary said when she was opening it, you know, to have such an impressive base right in the middle of the country, so they can send their shows all over the country so much easier.
It's all about relationships and partnerships, isn't it? And you know, that relationship with the Belgrade has been instrumental in all of this. In fact, without the Belgrade, this company wouldn't exist in the first place.
No.
And you know, lots of the sets and the costumes that were originated at the Belgrade became part of the collection here as well.
Well, of course, and that's an ongoing thing, that they know that, and the lovely thing about the Belgrade is, I mean, having looked now and seen the condition of the sets and the costumes, which will only improve because they're not all crammed in together, getting damaged and whatever. So the quality of the stuff that's already here is top notch. And what Imagine though is that come the new year, they'll be getting a brand new set and a brand new set of costumes from the Belgrade to add to the collection. So those upper levels will soon be used, I think.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. I mean, the thing for you and for any actors in the building, it's a bit like, you know, being a kid in a sweet shop, isn't it? Because you're going around, you're seeing all the costumes and the sets and so on, which you've probably used yourself.
Well, the whole thing's been a memory trip, going round seeing stuff, you know, not only from recent years, but from a decade ago.
Yeah.
And they're still doing the rounds.
Yeah, in fact, your costume, King Rat costume, is out here, isn't it, from last year?
It's my walk-down costume, from out there. Well, that should be in good condition, because I only wore it for 2 minutes. You know what it's like with the walk-down frocks. They put so much work into them, and you blink and you miss them.
I tell you what, you looked great in it, though.
Oh, thank you, Martin.
Listen, we look forward to speaking to you again in the forthcoming episodes of the series. But in the meantime, thank you so much for chatting to us, Andy.
Thank you for chatting to me, Martin.
With me now also from Trafalgar is Susan Maguire. And Susan, you have the most incredible title.
Yes, it's People and Organisational Development Director. Back in the old days, it might have been HR, and in the even older days, it might have been personnel. But fortunately, we've moved on from there.
So is this your first time seeing this building?
It is, yes.
And what do you make of it?
Oh, I mean, really impressive. I think for us, given that we all spend so much of our time at work, disproportionate to everything else, having a great working environment is so conducive to the way that you perform at work, the way you interact with people at work, how happy you feel about being at work. And all those things really count, because the upside for companies is that you do get better performance. People are happier, they give that bit more. It just makes such a difference to people. And when I come in here and I compare it to the previous place, Brandon House, it's just so much better.
Yeah.
It was such a cramped area. It just felt like this wasn't the kind of place where you're going to get the best out of people. Whereas you come in here and you see the difference and you see the space that people have. It's bright, it's roomy. It's just, and the diner is to die for.
Yeah, well, one of the key things that they were so interested in with this place is the amount of natural light. Space is key, natural light is as well, isn't it? And people aren't working on top of each other. They have so much more space, and yet they're within close confines, so if they need to talk to another department, they can do so. In many ways, it's perfect.
It is perfect. That opportunity to get up, to walk about, to have the space. You don't need to go outside to get 10,000 steps in that warehouse. A couple of laps of that every day, and you've done your exercise. But I think it's that movement as well as being at your desk, getting away from your screen, all of that. But at the same time, you've got your colleagues. There's probably less need for artificial light in here, and it just means that I think people will feel much happier in their workplace, which is a great thing.
And of course, Trafalgar people can come and work here. If they're in the area or they need a workspace, they can do that. And you might fancy it, because I did spot you trying a few wigs and costumes on.
Well, the danger for me is that I will be distracted and I won't get any work done. But you'll find me out trying on costumes and wigs and, taking selfies and stuff like that. So there is always that danger. But yeah, it would be lovely to think that people could come here and find a space to work with colleagues that they don't see a lot, and how that builds relationships. Once you've got a face-to-face relationship with someone, it changes the whole dynamic of how you work. So it would be really good for us to be a bit more inclusive and collaborative with colleagues that we don't see very often.
Well, Imagine has always been a close family in terms of the staff and everybody that works there, but that's the reputation that Trafalgar also has, and I think Imagine is part of a much bigger family now, and it would be nice for them to interact in this sort of space, won't it?
Yes, it does, and it makes a difference, and Howard and Rosemary have grown their businesses in that very family way, and it's good to be able to expand that out and to have new families join. So we've become one big extended family, and let's hope that we see each other on a fairly regular basis.
Well, listen, thank you so much for talking to us. You can go back and enjoy some more food now, Susan. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Well, also here is Karen Smallwood, who is the very first female chief executive at the Wolverhampton Grand. What an amazing venue. You must, I don't know how long you've been in post, but what a lovely place.
Oh, it's fantastic. I feel quite honoured, to be honest, to be the CEO there, because it's a stunning building, and it's got so much heritage to it. It's fabulous.
And Panto is very important to the Wolverhampton Grand, isn't it?
So much part of what we do. Whenever you speak to audiences, most people have started coming to theatre because they went to Panto as kids. So it's really important to us.
So what have you made of this today? Because I don't know if you went to the previous Imagine building, Brandon House, but what a difference this makes.
It's wow. Just completely wow. Walking around, seeing the costumes is stunning in comparison to the previous. It's just it'll make your operation so much easier to work in, and obviously there's so much that you can expand into. Really, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
And it's nice to see some of the sets and costumes that might be coming to your theatre in the future.
Yes, and we were literally walking around thinking, we've had that one, and that's a bit of this, that's a bit of that. It looks so different when it's lit though. So it's fabulous. Congratulations to the entire team. It's fantastic.
Well, congratulations on your job, and thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Now, we said many times on the podcast that the impression might be outside the industry that all the various producers and companies are in really stiff competition, don't necessarily get on with each other. It's all about competition. Well, Chris Jordan is here today as a producer from outside the Trafalgar and the Imagine family. Thank you for talking to us, first of all. What have you made of what you've seen?
I'm insanely jealous, and it's not true, Martin. We all hate each other's guts, really, and I'm here as a spy just to steal ideas. No, none of that's true. I'm lucky enough to have worked with Steve and Sarah for 23 years, something like that, hiring their sets and back in the day, some of their costumes, and it's really lovely to see how Imagine has grown over the years, and this is the link up with Trafalgar has sort of suddenly opened wonderful doors and opportunities for investment. Yeah. I'm struggling to think if there is another purpose-built or purpose-reconfigured, remodelled space, building, warehouse, storage units, probably in the world specifically designed for a pantomime company. And it's amazing. Not only is there acres and acres of space, but it's all sectioned off into, so wardrobe department don't only have all their storage area and then on top their workroom, but they also have their own admin area as well. Yeah. So I've got a wonderful storage team down in my place, and they do have a nice workshop. But when it comes to admin, they are balancing laptops on knees and things. So it's wonderful to see it all sectioned off, all the different departments, and still with room to grow. So it's extraordinary, and it makes me feel proud actually about the genre, about pantomime. Thinking, well, panto, if you want to invest in it properly, then this is the benchmark. Yeah. This is what you do, and it couldn't be better.
So what difference might it make for a producer who maybe wants to look at hiring sets and costume to be able to come here and for the first time possibly see what you're looking at properly?
Absolutely. Well, the amazing thing is not only are all these sets here in really well presented and well organised bays, but then there's a space at the end of that to actually, if you talk very nicely, I guess, to Dave and the team here, almost pull it out and set it up. Yeah. All it needs is a pulley on the top there, so we can even hang some cloths. Yeah. So back in the day, we used to come up to Imagine, and we used to be able to look at a model box, and that was great. And then we would be able to look and maybe climb a step ladder and peek at the quality of the paintwork on a piece of something. Mm-hmm. However, now, theoretically, you could actually get half the set out and see it leaning up and get an idea of it. So I think it would be wonderful for any producers or any venues that are thinking of hiring from here, literally to be able to come and see it, but try before you buy. Great.
We know as well, don't we, that so many theatres for the rest of their year rely on the income they get from their panto every Christmas. But this sort of investment shows how much confidence there is in the genre as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not only vital to the economies of a venue. I also happen, in my spare time, not really my spare time, I happen to run Eastbourne.
You don't have any spare time.
I don't have any spare time, no. To run Eastbourne theatres on the south coast. And so I understand how the income that's derived from just that 5 weeks over Christmas is so vital. Not only actually to the economies of the theatre, but also to the future of theatre in terms of its audience development. Yeah. You know, it's so often it's the first time that children experience live theatre. And I think to see the investment that's gone into this, and it is obviously a long-term investment, it kind of puts a real marker down and says, this is how important pantomime is, not only to theatres but to our entire industry. Steve quoted some figures in terms of economic impact just in this area of a facility like this. And that will go for every theatre in every town all around the country. It's really important.
Nice to see you. Thank you so much for talking to us, and all the best of luck for the next panto season.
No problem. Really good to be here. Thanks, Martin. Cheers.
The final word goes to Group Commercial Director for Trafalgar Entertainment, Chris McGuigan. Chris, first of all, what does this building mean for both Imagine and Trafalgar moving forward?
It's wonderful, isn't it, to consolidate everything under one roof, and to give the guys at Imagine the space that they need to be able to do what they do in a business that's growing and expanding all the time. I think the facilities here are just superb. The ability that they've got to be able to do everything in one place, refurbish sets, create new scenery, build props and store everything here is superb. And in a wider context, I think it'll be great for us to be able to have other productions and other sets and costumes here as well.
Yeah, and I think it could never have happened had Imagine not become part of the bigger Trafalgar family, and it's happened really quickly, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think that's probably right. I think one of the things that we're good at is making the best of the different moving parts within our business, and I think this is a really good example of that, where Imagine are benefiting, from the wider group, if you like, and that helps everybody all round.
And you're here today working at a desk, which is something that more and more Trafalgar people will be able to do now. Maybe even some Jonathan Church, Stagecoach, whoever could come here and work on one of the hot desks, or maybe have a look around the sets and so on. And that interaction between all the various parts of the Trafalgar group might be beneficial in the future as well.
That's right. I think that's how great ideas get started, isn't it? Is people interacting with one another and talking to one another face to face, bumping into them. How many corridor conversations have resulted in great ideas? So I think it's fantastic. It's a great workspace here, great hub, and lots of friendly faces around to chat to as well.
Yeah, quite easy to get here, not too far from the M1, M69, M6 and so on. So people have come from all over the country today, so that proves how easy that is. And in terms of getting the sets and costumes out, again, much easier. I mean, I'm sure you've enjoyed the day, but we hope to see you back here again in the future.
Yes, I will. I'm only an hour up the road, so I'll be down here again, using the hot desks and using the facilities and drinking the tea and coffee.
Thanks, Chris.
Great, thank you.
Wow, what a fabulous day, seeing friends and members of the Panto family and getting a glimpse of the future for Imagine Theatre and its parent company Trafalgar Entertainment. It really is the start of a new era. But I'm afraid that's it for now from this podcast series. Once again, thank you for listening and supporting it. Don't forget to subscribe through your favourite podcast app, and make sure you spread the word to anybody you know who loves pantomime. Next time, we're going to discuss the pantomime convention of cross-dressing with author Janet Tennant. So join me, Martin Ballard, next time for episode 107.
Thank you for listening to the latest edition of Just Imagine, the podcast series from Imagine Theatre. And you can find out more by going to www.imaginetheatre.co.uk.